Hello, and welcome to another side quest episode of Talk This.
It's dangerous to podcast alone.
I'm one of your hosts, Madelyn.
I'm your other host, Emma.
And we're excited to have you here with us for our off-week episodes, where we don't talk about one old game and one new game. Well, sometimes we do, but just by coincidence. Instead, we give you a kind of a news magazine format of what we've been playing, our weather report, our traffic report, our off-topic corner, and our question of the fortnight. But not that fortnight.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like that really professional intro I just did?
It was super profesh.
I was like, I didn't make any jokes. I just laid out...
I know, it's very uncharacteristic of you.
I just laid out what the episode was going to be about. Don't get used to it, people.
If you're introducing the podcast to anyone else, this one might be a good one to start with.
Yes.
We said the name of the podcast, we said our names, we laid it out for you. We never do that.
So welcome, listeners old and new. I should probably do our social media now before you all quit listening.
No.
Just kidding. Wow, I did such a good intro that I feel like I just had to jump right in. I don't have anything to riff on.
Yeah, we should.
So our first segment today, as always in this Side Quest 4.0 edition, is our save data, just sort of ported over from our previous Side Quest format. So Emma, what have you been playing these past 2 weeks?
Well, I've been playing more Octopath Traveler.
Woo!
We are slowly but surely getting through it. My 14 Thoughts in 14 Hours will be coming up soon, even though I'm now about 45 hours into it. And the more I go, the more it bothers me, but the more I feel like I have to finish it. You know?
I do know what you mean. I do.
Okay, so some spoilers. I'm going to go into a bit of spoiler territory here for Alphen's Chapter 3. So Alphen is a medicine man, right? And his whole story quest, because each of them have their own, is that he's going around finding people to help and to hone his craft as an apothecary. Okay?
Sounds reasonable.
He doesn't really have an immediate goal. He's just, like, wandering around. So the premise of his third chapter is, like, a dilemma of, like, should you save all people, or are there some people who don't deserve treatment? So, like, Alphen treats, like, a thief and a murderer, and it's, like, this big moral dilemma. And this whole time, I'm like, Tharion's in your party.
Ugh.
Like, Tharion steals everything. You've helped Tharion steal things. I'm sure Tharion has maybe killed somebody. Pretty sure. This isn't a moral dilemma. You've been healing Tharion for 40 hours of this game and have had no problems with it.
Sounds like some ludonarrative dissonance.
It is. This whole game is just like, it's so frustrating. Because it's like, if Tharion had never been a character, then this might have been a good little story, you know? Like, that little chapter could have been compelling in some way. But because he's there, I can't take any of it seriously, because it's not something that Alphen should be struggling with at this point. It should have been struggling with it at the moment that he decided to start traveling with Tharion, you know? But because they don't acknowledge each other's existence beyond, like, little side conversations, and they didn't even talk about it, it's like, it would have been fine if there was, like, some travel banter that was like, well, you've been healing me this whole time, blah, 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 blah. But the only travel banter they had was like, you know, taverns are a great place to get information. Gee, thanks, Tharion. Never thought about that. Neener. It was so frustrating for me. Okay. That's my Octopath rant for the side quest.
Maybe he thinks that Tharion is, like, just a really charming guy who gets people to give him a lot of things for free.
No!
You said they don't
I've
talk.
already done Chapter 2 of Tharion with Alphen with me. We snuck into a rich guy's manor and stole his dragonstone, okay? He wasn't a very nice rich guy, but the point still stands. We beat up that rich guy. We beat him up. That's all I'm saying.
But did Tharion need healing? You never know. If Tharion needed healing, maybe... Is it Alphen?
Usually he doesn't. He did in that fight.
Maybe,
usually he dodges everything.
Maybe Alphen just was like, you know, if Tharion gets taken down, like, that's how it goes. You know, he deserves it.
Well, if they put that into the story, that would actually be interesting. That would be actually really interesting. If a character, like, legit would not heal one of your other party members because it went against their principles. That would be a really interesting mechanic. That would be great gameplay and storytelling. But it didn't go that way, Ballad. It didn't go that way.
Well, have a little meta-narrative going so you can justify
I
it
do.
to yourself.
I have a very detailed meta-narrative going. It gets more convoluted by the hour.
No one understands sarcasm. Alphen really wouldn't heal Therian.
Nobody can read a map.
That one's probably fair. How many people do you know these days who could really read a map?
That's true. Who knows? But that's all I've been playing. I've only been playing Octopath. I'm planning to play a little bit more Final Fantasy 15 and planning to play a little bit of Hellblade in preparation for an upcoming episode. But I haven't gotten around to those yet.
So I guess that brings it to me.
Yeah, that brings it to Madelyn.
So yeah, I'm also planning, I don't know, it's going to be tricky as we'll discuss in Off-Topic Corner later, but I am planning to try to play some Assassin's Creed before we record our next episode. But that's not what I've been playing these last 2 weeks. That's what I've been telling myself I need to play these past 2 weeks, or past week, I guess. What I have been, my most significant gaming accomplishment of the past 2 weeks is that I finally finished Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Remix.
Final remix.
Final remix. 0.7.
No, there's no 0.7.
Coded. Data.
Days.
Over.
Over 2.
Over. Vanitas. And so did Clickbait Boyfriend, actually. He's ahead of the blog. Yeah. So I can talk about it a little bit now without fear of him listening to this. Which is good. It's nice. Don't really feel like I understand things that much better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I sort of do. Kind of.
You understand, like, Ventus and Roxas a little bit, at least, right?
See, I understand that because I think that I've Googled it a little bit. I don't think I would really understand that if I hadn't done it.
Okay.
I mean, I think I'd be able to be like, okay, here's, like, a theory, but I don't think I would understand the resemblance purely based on what was given to me in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure I understand what's going on with Terra and Xehanort either.
Okay.
Or really any of it. Or why Ansem the Wise is in the realm of darkness. Isn't he just dead?
Maybe that is death.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing. Is death even a thing in these games?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a lot of questions that maybe someday will be answered. Who knows?
Well, all you have left on the games you have is the Days movie, right?
Yeah. Clickbait Boyfriend literally said to me, like 15 minutes before recording this episode, he said, I feel empty without another Kingdom Hearts game to play. So, how long until we buy a PS4? How long can we hold out?
We'll see.
Not that I don't have plenty of games to play on my existing systems, so really I should try to wait until Black Friday, but we'll see if he can last that long.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about it, we were like, do we go in 50-50 on it? And he was like, okay, but like, if we break up, there'd be a custody agreement that would allow me, you could keep it, but I would have to have visitation to play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, as long as you've got it down in writing.
Yeah,
you know?
It's not that was a verbal agreement, so we should probably write it down. Anyway, I don't really have any Adventures of Champ McDude. I don't remember when I played last. I'm stuck in the middle of the castle, and I'm just, like, I need to, like, cheat and look up which one to fight, because I'm just getting my butt kicked, and it's not fun. Yeah, but that probably won't happen within the next week or so. Give myself a break.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of Persona for a while. We'll come back to Champ McDude and my dudes in September, maybe, or the end of August. Let's see. Also been playing some Overcooked, not like Clickbait Boyfriend and I, like maybe that'll be what causes the PS4 visitation to go into effect. You know?
Uh-huh.
We've been getting 3 stars, though. We got 3 stars on that one that we played together that was impossible.
Oh, good.
The numbers do go down when you're just playing as 2 people.
Yeah. You gotta get Overcooked, too.
I know! I keep saying that! I went to the Nintendo store last weekend, and I saw it there, and I was like, oh, I could get it.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't finished the DLC yet. We're still playing the holiday one. But I need more Kevin.
There is more Kevin in Overcooked, too.
I know, it's been advertised to me. That's the main reason that I want it. But yeah, it's been a busy couple weeks, so I think that's just about it on the video game front for me. Which brings us to this week's, or bi-week's, weather report.
Well, Madelyn, these last 2 weeks, the weather has been getting dark and stormy over the IGN offices, if they have offices, wherever those might happen to be. I don't know off the top of my head, but there are clouds gathering there because recently, starting with his Dead Cells review, one of their editors, or ex-editors now, was accused of plagiarism off a small YouTube channel who brought it up. And since then, they've been looking through all of his stuff for the site and found similarities between that and other articles from other news sources for basically almost everything he's done.
Really, for almost everything?
IGN.
I had seen 3 or 4 that came forward, some of which was from his pre-IGN writing also. But really, like everything?
Yeah, there's even some that seem to be sort of taken from, and I haven't like looked myself at everything beyond like the Dead Cells one, which I do think calling the Dead Cells one plagiarism is true. But like I would want to look at like all of them because like there are some phrases that every single games journalist just uses. So how much of it is him, like, consciously plagiarizing, and how much of it is him consuming a lot of it and not knowing how to put his own spin on it? I mean, it's still bad, but, is all of it, like, intentional plagiarism? Maybe not. Enough of it is that he shouldn't be working at IGN.
So the 3 or 4 that I saw, because Kotaku has been doing a lot of coverage of this.
Yeah.
Where they literally kind of line up the quotes next to each other. Like, yeah, you read, like, the first quote that's paired up, and you're like, okay, like, this is a little bit, like, it's very similar, but whatever. And then it just keeps going, and there'll be, like, weird phrases that are repeated, and it's obvious that he's just got his thesaurus.com open, and he's switching out adjectives every once in a while.
Yeah.
It does seem pretty blatant. Man, I can't believe it's every single one.
I mean, all from different sources.
That's ridiculous, though. That's more work than writing your own review.
I know.
Does he even play the games?
I don't know.
Like, that would be the only way I would be like, that would be less work. Is if you're a games reviewer, you literally don't play the games, you just plagiarize other people's reviews. But otherwise, I feel like it would be much more work to dig up the YouTube channel, the first one that came out, and the creator made a video about it on his channel, like, saying he got plagiarized, basically. But it's not, like, a popular channel. I mean, of course not, right?
Yeah.
Because if he was picking it from popular channels, someone would have noticed. But it's not, it feels like a lot of work to be like, I'm gonna pick this good review from this channel that no one really has heard of.
Yeah, but, I mean, even that, like, apparently there's a Bayonetta 2 review that seems to draw from Polygon, which is a really big site.
Oof.
Some videos with excerpts from Wikipedia, and even, like, one that, an Octopath Traveler one, so a recent one, that seems to come from IGN, like somebody else who writes for IGN.
No.
Yeah. Like, again, I haven't looked at these myself, so this is just from Kotaku's reporting. I'm not independently confirmed, whatever the phrase is. But that seems to be true, which in that case, I'm like, how'd you not... I mean, I don't want to blame IGN because they're a huge website. They have a ton of writers, right? I'm sure they don't check everything that gets posted on their site. But, like, how do you not notice?
Right, you know? It's like, aren't there... Unless they just don't have copy editors or anyone who's looking at this before it gets posted. Which maybe they don't. And that's a whole other can of worms. But
I mean, he's an editor, too. So it's possible they don't read his because...
But did he start as an editor?
I don't know.
It just seems strange that you could get away with this for so long on, like, everything you've ever written.
Yeah. But, I mean, the ones that come from bigger ones seem to be more recent games. So, like, Bayonetta 2 seems to be, like, the oldest one of that, and that's only a couple years old. So I imagine at the time he started borrowing from bigger publications, he was higher up on the food chain.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
That's still nuts. Do they not have any, like, kind of... I realize this is a school thing, but it seems like it would make sense to have this as a publication also. Like a safe assign kind of deal. Or a plagiarism checker. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's... I mean, I don't know. I could see as a writer being offended and worried about that, but also, you know, those things, they flag common phrases, but as long as you have, like, a non-idiotic editor who's gonna be like, oh yeah, like, this phrase about the creator's bio, like, okay, fine, like, I don't care that got flagged, everyone's writing that the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, as, like, IGN, I don't know, is there a bigger, you know, repository of games journalism?
Probably not. It's like IGN and GameSpot are, like, the biggest ones.
Really feels like, especially because they use a lot of kind of freelancers, I know, right, in addition to their normal staff, really feels like they should have something like that they use.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to have someone who's reading all of these and has an eye for that to the point that he can plagiarize something that literally came off of your own site.
Yeah.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, transcribing video is really hard and really slow, so I don't know why you would do that to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, believe me, I need to put the CCs for all our playlists that I have not done. So I know transcribing video is a hassle. So yeah, I don't see why you should not just write something yourself.
Do we think it's likely that there are more storms brewing there? This is more of a widespread scandal?
I don't think so. It seems to be, at least right now, it seems to be an isolated issue. IGN is probably gonna struggle for a while, particularly in this online space, with, like, being now characterized as that, even if it is just one of their writers, you know? So, it'll be interesting to see, like, how IGN responds and how IGN is affected by this in terms of, like, their traffic and their success.
Did you read about his, like, non-apology video, too?
Yeah, I did. I mean, he's taken it down now.
I know. But come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, after those stormy skies have cleared, I don't know, maybe it's still raining outside. It's a cozy day. Come, grab a seat right here in our cozy off-topic corner. Or rather, more aptly, grab a seat on an airplane, or curl up in the back of a car with all of your things. Because on this week's off-topic corner, we're talking about travel. Because there's a lot of it coming up for Team Talk This in the next couple weeks.
Yep.
So first, and I don't know about foremost, I guess, but first anyway, I'm actually headed off to Rome.
Woo! Ciao ciao. Buongiorno. It's a me, Mario.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna dress as a plumber. I'm gonna jump on things. I think it's gonna go.
I think that's what they do in Italy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'll ask them if there's a memorial service for Luigi. I'll just wah at everyone. I think they'll understand.
Yeah, that's what they do. They don't speak Italian. They speak wah Luigi.
Yeah. So that's gonna be great. Although it means, as we'll talk about in our traffic report, that some of our regularly scheduled blog content, some of it will be the same and some of it will be a little bit different than usual. Because I'm going to be abroad. And don't worry though, our normally scheduled episode, despite the fact that next Sunday I will not be in the country or even on the continent, unless you are a person who is listening from Europe, in which case I will be on your continent, just not the same one as Emma. Your regularly scheduled Talk This will go out as scheduled, regularly scheduled, as scheduled, next Sunday, so don't worry about that. And Emma's got some travel coming up in her future, too.
Yep, I'm heading back one more time for my senior year of college in Boston. So I'm still living in the dorms because it's way more convenient than dealing with getting an apartment in Boston. And I'm going to be lugging all my stuff up in a car with my parents and moving in on the day that the next full episode comes out. So think of me.
It's crazy how we managed to record these live on Sundays.
I know, man.
Even though I'll be in a haze of pasta and cheese, and Emma will be carrying boxes.
It's truly amazing the dedication we show in this podcast.
And it's not going to be a rerun either. I know what y'all are thinking. You're like, oh, it's going to be a rerun.
Nope. No way. We will be doing Assassin's Creed and Hellblade as promised.
You know, you said, like, I go to college in Boston, and you know that's like a euphemism people use when they go to Harvard, right? And they don't want to say it.
Oh, I go to Northeastern University.
It's like, oh, where do you go? Oh, I go to school in Boston.
I go to Northeastern University in Boston, which is actually in Boston and not in Cambridge.
So everyone was like, oh yeah, Emma goes to Harvard.
No, I don't.
Let's start spreading the rumor.
Oh,
Crimson.
Gosh. Yes, Emma is drowning in student debt because she decided to go to Harvard like a stupid person. Nope. Instead, Emma has no student debt, so you should be jealous.
Wow. You just alienated literally all of our listeners.
I know.
I was like,
I'm sorry, listeners. It's okay if you have student debt and decided to go to Harvard. Hopefully it works out for you.
I'm like, I'm going on a fancy vacation where I'm going to eat a lot of food. And you're like, haha, like, screw you. Student debt.
Well, yeah.
We were saying at the beginning that this was the episode to show people. And now...
Maybe not.
We revealed ourselves as the elitist...
We've taken off our masks to show our
along.
lizard faces.
Are there, like, Italian video game companies?
Probably.
None that are well known.
I honestly, like, even if some companies were set in Italy, I would not know. I can generally identify Japanese companies, and that's about it. Ubisoft is in Canada and America. I know that. I know a couple in Seattle. Yeah. I'm not great at placing things on the map.
Video game companies of Italy. A Wikipedia page. Let's see if you've heard of any of these. 505 Games.
Yes. They're like a publisher, I think.
Yes. Artematica.
No, not off the top of my head.
Black Bean Games.
Not off the top of my head.
Geniaware SRL.
No.
Kunos Simulazione.
No.
Milestone SRL.
I don't think so.
A lot of them do racing games. Mole Industria.
No.
Naps Team.
No. I think if they weren't at the top,
These are
going further down
alphabetical.
isn't going to make me more likely to recognize them.
Yeah, I don't think any of these. That's too bad. Maybe I'll have to try to find like an Italian video game.
I do know 505 Games. They're a publisher, I think.
There you go. What? Well, maybe I will come back with new fancy video games, but probably not. And that's been this week's off-topic corner. Which brings us I was about to say the weather report, but we already did that. To the traffic report. And that's right, folks, it's not just how the cars are moving, if the subway's running near us. No, it's web traffic. What we've been up to on the interwebs these past 2 weeks. So on our website, which is www.talkthispodcast.com, you'll find our blog. You can go right there at www.talkthispodcast.com/blog. And there you'll find all of our recent blog entries. Now, of course, on the blog, you can see the lovely episode summaries that Emma writes. It gives you a little bit of information about all the games we talk about. It's got a nice little graphic. You can always check those out. They're kind of our show notes 2.0. I still have a dream of going back and doing show notes.
One day.
One day. Perhaps when I find my member of F4, as I discussed in this past week's Split Screen. That's right, our past 2 weeks, we've had 2 editions of Split Screen, normally publishing on Mondays, and 2 editions of Clickbait Boyfriend, normally publishing on Tuesdays. We flipped a few of those this past week, because my schedule was busy, but they were still Monday, Tuesday. So you should check those out. There's some funny stuff going on. There were some eventful, or not so eventful, depending on who you ask, episodes of Boys Over Flowers and My Hero Academia on Split Screen. We're almost through with season 1 of My Hero Academia, and we are nowhere near the end of season 1 of Boys Over Flowers, but we've just learned there's a season 2, so that's exciting stuff. And on Clickbait Boyfriend, we're making our way through Ventus's storyline in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. That's right, I only publish once a week, but Clickbait Boyfriend plays Kingdom Hearts all the time. So in real life, he is the head of the blog, but that's okay.
Madelyn, you're ruining the immersion.
I know, I'm sorry. I can't make him play only once a week.
His addiction is too much strong.
That video will be coming soon.
You gotta wean him off somehow.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Huh?
That video, the really addicted video, will be coming soon.
Yes.
It's coming soon. That's what's up on the blog. On our social media, we've obviously been sharing those posts. I've actually managed to get some Read This content up on Facebook, so you should check that out on our page. We're on Facebook as Talk This Podcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram as Talk This Podcast, so you should really follow us there for all the latest. It might be posting more than usual this next week, because I'm going to try to get ahead of the game before I go to Rome.
Nice.
And schedule some posts, so get excited. Also, just a heads up that your regularly scheduled programming these next 2 weeks will be a little bit different than what it's been for the past month or so. On Monday, this coming Monday, we'll still have an edition of Split Screen, right, Emma?
Yes, but it'll be a little different. It'll be what I've been watching by myself for the past month or so. We won't be doing episodes because I'm in the middle of a lot of things, so we'll just be doing general impressions of a couple of shows I've been watching. It's a lot of trash. A couple of good things.
Yeah, Clickbait Boyfriend should still publish as usual on Tuesdays. I hope, if I can find enough Kingdom Hearts memes to fill out those posts. There are some things that I wish I could find, I feel like I should be able to find that I have a hard time finding. For example, that Cinderella, look at all these people at the ball thing.
The guests were just starting to enjoy themselves.
I'd forgotten what
Do you want to know the most iconic line from all of Kingdom Hearts? It's not Kingdom Hearts is light. It's not my friends or my power. It's not, lead me into eternal darkness. It's not dance, water, dance. No, it is. The guests were just beginning to enjoy themselves.
It's tremendous. You know, one of my favorite Twitter accounts that we follow is Kingdom Hearts Out of Context.
Yes, I just followed that because I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that seems like my sense of humor.
They shared one of my favorites the other day from Winnie the Pooh. Where it's Owl, and he's like, Sora, hurry, get Pooh and grab the pot off of him.
Sounds right. You know, though, my theory is that Winnie the Pooh was truly the mastermind all along. Why are there no Heartless in the 100-Acre Wood, huh? Because Pooh was controlling them.
Are you telling me that Winnie the Pooh is Xehanort?
Yes! He's one of the Xehanorts.
My boyfriend is like making a mind-blown face in the kitchen.
No, don't tell him. It's spoilers.
I'm sorry. It's spoilers. You didn't hear that. It's from 2.75 final epilogue Zone of Hearts remix in code.
Yeah. You can only play it on calculators.
Only TIs, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So look out for that. A week from Monday, there might be a Buzz This. Depends on how fast I can pack my bags, / how much time I want to spend on BuzzFeed taking quizzes.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, there'll be plenty of Talk This content up on our blog, even while Emma and I are moving to new places and new lands.
Yep.
Also, while I'm in the traffic report, I should tell you to follow us on these social media pages. Duh! Talk This Podcast. And also, check out our YouTube, where we're Talk This Sisters. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Emma, the question that I know everyone wants to know. When are the adventures of Prince Noodletus launching?
I think sometime this week. I need to play a little bit more. And then I have to make it. But I think Noodletus will be sometime this week, and then the next Play This will be the last Thursday of the month.
Do you need my voice talent?
I might. We'll see. I'm going to try doing voices by myself and see how different they sound, and see if I need some help.
You are a trained voiceover artist. So
That's true. I've taken a whole semester worth of classes.
That's more than me. Oh boy, I'm excited. So definitely subscribe because we got some amazing videos coming up the next couple of weeks. Also, if you're listening to the podcast, tell people that you like us and stay updated by subscribing to the show. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, any podcast directory you want. We are probably there. If we're not, drop us a line at talkthispodcast.com or in direct message on any one of those social media sites, and we'll look into getting ourselves listed there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been this week's traffic report.
So what is our question of the fortnight, Mal?
Well, Emma, inspired by conversations that we've been having and I've been having this past week with other people about Switch ports, I know that you are very excited about the World Ends With You port, which is coming in.
The World Ends With You port! Woo!
Which is coming in October? Is that right?
It's September. Yes, October. September in Japan, October everywhere else.
And I know I'm excited about the Okami port, which is coming sometime, because I really want to finally finish that game. But I wanted to ask, if you could port any game to the Switch, what would it be and why?
It's a hard question. Like, I would say Fire Emblem, but I'm also okay with just a new Fire Emblem.
That's no good. Don't pick a Nintendo property.
Oh, just any? I mean, that's the only thing they're going to port in real life.
Okami is not a Nintendo game.
Okay, I guess so. That's true. But see, like, really what I want in terms of ports is the handheld systems being brought up a little bit, as opposed to, like, the PlayStation systems being brought down a little bit. You know? Because the Switch is not very high-powered hardware. So it's more nice when, like, things that are on really weak hardware, like the DS or the 3DS, gets brought up to the Switch hardware's level a little bit, than it is, like, when something runs on the PlayStation or Xbox nicely and then is sort of downgraded for the Switch. Because then why wouldn't I just play it on PlayStation?
Sure.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I was thinking, a game I never got around to playing from, I think the creator of Phoenix Wright, was Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which is supposed to be really good and really stylish, and the way they did the animations, which is really what I know it from, is really, really cool. And I think it might be really cool to see something like that on the Switch. In case you were wondering, they took 3D models and smashed them into 2D models.
Oh.
So the motion is like real smooth and nice.
Smooth. I like it.
It's smooth.
Well,
so I guess that's my answer. I don't know. I didn't think about it beforehand as much as I should have.
You've had a full 2 weeks to consider this question.
What?
It's the question on the fortnight. What have you been doing?
Yeah. True. But what game would you want to see on the Switch, Madeline?
Okay, I have a number of answers. One that I think is a realistic option that I think would sell better than I think it would is Nintendogs.
Okay.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay,
Tell me
sure.
you wouldn't get Nintendogs for the Switch.
What are the other options?
But, like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that game wouldn't sell like hotcakes.
I don't know.
Based on nostalgia factor alone.
I don't know.
You don't believe in me. That's fine. Another one that's like, now we're in the ones that are, this is the mid-tier level of unrealistic. Age of Mythology.
That's an interesting one.
I think it would be a good fit for the Switch.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, because it seems like, honestly, Age of Mythology has always seemed like a game that should be more portable than it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah, I agree with that. That would be cool.
Yeah. And I just want to be able to play it because they don't have a Mac version. So, finally, ultimate unrealistic option, but I think it would be great because guess what? Multiplayer capacity. You gonna guess what it is?
Team Buddies.
Yes, you're right!
I knew it.
Buddies.
The World Ends With You port apparently has 2-player co-op, though.
I know, I heard you say that.
Which, like, wow, we should play it together.
Does your dorm have space for me to sleep?
Probably. My bedroom is probably at least as big as your apartment.
That's so rude, but so true. Bring the air mattress with me on the bus.
Yeah, pretty much.
But come on, Team Buddies would be so good for Switch. It'd be like Splatoon.
It would. It'd be real good. Shout out to our Team Buddies Splatoon episode.
Seriously, that was a bad pairing.
They're just the same game.
They're literally the same game.
Talk about plagiarism.
Whoa, tying it back.
I'm just kidding.
You heard it here first. Splatoon is a ripoff of Team Buddies. Ooh, or Worms Armageddon.
That would also be good.
That's
slightly more likely.
Not the BS new Worms stuff, though. Worms Armageddon.
Okay.
The classic.
Well, now we want you to tell us, what game do you want to see most on the Switch? Or what game has already been brought to the Switch that you're the most happy with? Or which game does not work very well on the Switch? Or would you wish that the Switch would stop porting things and just make its own games already? Tell us on our social media or in the comments of something. Or leave a review with your answer.
And you can also let us know what you've been playing. If you have any thoughts on this whole IGN thing, / like, if you're a plagiarizer, please send me an anonymous message and explain why, how, is it really less work? Like, what is your thought process? Because I really want to get inside your head. Also, if you have any travel recommendations for either Rome or for Boston, let us know. Emma's already got a favorite cannoli place, but I don't. And I think that wraps up this episode. Emma, do you want to sign off or do you want me to sign off?
You sign off.
You've been doing it a lot lately. That's fair. Let's see. Have an entirely original week.